Happy Monday. Welcome to the latest edition of Celebrated Live. Thank you for celebrating your Monday with Celebrated Live. We've got a great show today. It is 2 p.m. in Atlanta. It is 7 p.m. over in the UK. We're going to be joined by Michael Bonsor in just a minute. Very excited about that. Big news this week. Travel is moving. Italy announced that travel will be allowed from the EU starting at the very beginning of June. So we've gotten some great announcements today. A lot of celebrated hotels in Italy are opening. So we're thrilled about that. Also, thanks to everybody who joined us last week. It was so much fun. We were with Karen from Hayfield Manor. We learned about Spike Island. We learned about what it was like for Karen to live on the Blarney Castle estate in the Gate Lodge. And we also learned that someone from Manchester is called a Mancunian. All this knowledge that we share at Celebrated Live. One of the great benefits of Celebrated Live and appearing on Facebook is that we get to hear from you. So do comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Of course, let us know what you're drinking. For me today, it is a gin and tonic, Cotswolds gin. It's going to be a good day. Michael, I'm sure, is going to have something to drink with him as well. But definitely comment. Let us know what you're thinking. And if you have any questions during the show, type it in, and Ty will kind of pull those questions in later on in the show. But let's get to the fun. So many of our clients love Celebrated because of our commitment to constantly curate an amazing collection of properties that doesn't stay the same every year. And I remember when we added Rosewood in London, Rory McCann, who had been at the Goring and worked with us there, was the one who made the initial introduction. Rory's now at Rosewood, Hong Kong. But I remember when we first added it, people were, it's a brand, and Celebrated usually works with so many independent hotels, or wow, it's so big. But the reality is that it's been one of the best additions our collection has ever made. And in so many ways, it redefined our own brand. And I'm really excited for Michael to join us. Michael could be, I know this is an industry full of hardworking people, but he could actually be the hardest working man in show business. I can be having a conversation with Michael, who has just arrived on a flight from New York, and he's still going to go back to London. It's the back and forth, and he's Instagramming, and you have no idea he's doing any of it because he's locked in and he's constantly engaged and focused. But I'm really excited to welcome Michael to the show today. And Michael should be joining us in 1 second. Michael,
hello.
Welcome to Celebrated Live. How are you?
I am great. How are you doing? How's everybody?
We're good. Audience, how are you doing? Let Michael know. And so you're broadcasting from a surprising place to most people. While we see beautiful Rosewood, London behind you, tell everybody where you are.
I am in sunny Wales. So we left London about a week before the lockdown went into place. I'm headed down to Wales. And it's quite a beautiful sunny day. We've got sort of 70-degree weather hitting us this Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm looking forward to that.
The year that Americans can't come this summer. It's like the most incredible weather ever. And overall, so you've been out there. Now, I hear you've been very busy, which is hard to do during lockdown, but you've managed to come up with a bunch of new hobbies.
There's been quite a few hobbies. I produced these flowers in the garden. I mean, who knew?
So, I saw you on Instagram becoming a gardener. Is that the first time you've ever done any of this?
I painted the kitchen. We did a little competition online. Seemingly, me gardening is very, very amusing, and people pay good money to see it. And I'm cutting my flower bill down, which is great too. So it's win-win.
You guys have done, so you've been out there, so it's 9 weeks you've been in Wales?
9 weeks, yes.
Okay. So, you did the gardening, and I saw the fundraiser, but Rosewood as a brand, I have to say, has been so proactive in giving back during all this. And that's another thing that your hotel has done a lot of, right?
Well, Sonia Chang, our CEO, she created with the executive team out of Hong Kong, Rosewood Rays.
Right.
We've actually now garnered almost sort of $2.6 million,
wow,
which will go to our associates as well that are going through really difficult times, and also the communities where our properties are. So yeah, amazing. And that was kind of something she sort of thought up, a couple of weeks ago. That's just great.
And I recommend anybody who's watching along, definitely go on to Instagram or Facebook. But on Instagram, Rosewood London, the feed is full of all the stuff that you're typically doing for the NHS and helping giving back. And you also get to know your team a little bit, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, the chefs are busy cooking up for the medical workers, and Callum's doing a lot of pie making. Yeah, it's great.
It's great. It's great. And so now we're going to do a segment of our show. If you're joining us for the first time in the audience, it's time for you to interact. Okay, it's the true or false segment of the show. We're going to get to know Michael a little bit better. We're going to learn a little bit more about the hotel. If you think it is true, I want you to click like. Okay. If you think it's false, give it a heart for love. Okay. So we'll get the ball rolling and we'll see what people think. Michael, true or false? Okay. That Michael was born into the hotel business and was actually working jobs in hotels before he was even 10 years old. So audience, is that true or false? And Michael, true or false?
Well, that sounds like child labor.
It does sound like illegal child labor laws, but I looked it up. I think if your parents are involved, you may be able to get away with it.
Okay. In Scotland, it's probably legal. So, yeah. So, well, shall I answer this?
Yes, answer.
True. It is true. Yes.
So tell everybody, because I think it's amazing. Like I'm a next generation hospitality guy, but you really grew in it. Tell everybody about what it was like and where it was and your parents.
Yeah, from the earliest days I can remember living in a hotel and just being surrounded by, people way older than I was from all different parts of the world. In Inverness at that point, back in 19 something,
age yourself.
wasn't so diverse. There was a lot of Scottish people around. And for me, my friends didn't really see other cultures. So I love being around, so many other cultures, in Inverness as well, which is such a tourist hotspot.
Right. Well, your mom told me that you were an incredible worker at a young age.
Oh, yeah.
At the hotel, but in high school, not so great at the homework. And one time, this is not a true or false, just for fun, your mom drove you to the prison to warn you. Is that true?
Yeah, she drove me to. I mean, I don't know. I think I was double digits, maybe barely, and I guess I was being a bit naughty and not getting on with my homework. Put me in the car, drove me to the prison, and we actually had one in the city centre. Bizarrely, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's still there. Put me out of the car and drove off.
Well, I didn't know it was that bad.
Well, she just went down the block and came back.
Circled.
I mean, she just circled and came back. But I mean,
oh my gosh, that is amazing. All right, so the next true or false question for the audience. And by the way, I loved emailing with your mom getting ready for the show. She's amazing.
Okay.
So true or false? Okay, you spent some time after school in the Four Seasons management program based in Boston. In order to make a bit of extra money on the side, you were a podium dancer at Avalon, one of the city's most popular clubs. And to be clear, audience, I said podium dancer, not pole dancer. Okay, he was getting the audience hyped up and excited. Okay, if he was doing that, in fact, this could be totally false. So, audience, true or false? Michael was a podium dancer in Boston while working for the Four Seasons training program. And okay, Michael, is that true or false?
That indeed, for 3 evenings only, was true.
Okay, so because you answered honestly, I'm not going to make you reenact any of your podium dancing.
No.
But I am going to ask you to tell the audience what's the funniest thing that you had to wear while podium dancing and why.
I left on my own accord, by the way. It wasn't because my dancing was not so great. Yeah, one evening I had to wear a Easter bunny outfit, which was interesting. I think that was my last night, actually. I think I drew a line at that point.
Oh my gosh. Who knew what holidays were coming up? You had to draw the line somewhere. Okay,
yeah.
Good. All right, next one.
What else do you have, Jonathan?
I got some more.
Okay.
As a teenager, Michael and I share something in common. This is true or false. Both of us used to have significant parties while our parents were out of town. Michael once, though, was caught after his parents returned to see broken furniture, the bar drunk dry, and a hole in the wall. By the way, yeah, hold on. We'll answer that in a second. True or false, Michael? True or false?
That again is true.
Tell me about the hole. I get the kids having parties. I want to know about the hole in the wall.
It was quite a large hole in the wall. You know, in those cartoons where someone sort of runs through a wall and leaves the imprint of a person, it was kind of like that. Because someone actually did sort of press, fall right into the wall. Wasn't great. Wasn't great.
I think the lesson here is very clear. We were meant for hospitality. We were meant to look after people and welcome them in. You know, I
tied it up and made it all look very, very nice. You know,
especially the hole. Yeah, I'm sure your mom loved that experience. By the way, loved it.
That's really
Okay, so when you, true or false, when you finish work, you race home and you just binge watch reality TV like Love Island, Desperate Housewives, major just chill out guy in the evenings. You love reality TV. Audience, true or false? Michael loves to binge watch Love Island. Is that true or false? Michael, give him the answer.
Yeah, that's false.
That is huge false. You are the busiest human I know. I can't fathom you sitting in one place. But like, this is amazing. 12 minutes and neither of us are moving. It's incredible.
Although I do feel though when Love Island's on, I need to quickly sort of just do a 3-second roundup and actually.
So you can talk about it the next day.
You can normally do that quite easily. It normally takes about 3 seconds to get the gist of what's going on. Because the next day, typically, there's a lot of people around you all talking about it. So.
That's right. Exactly. And in the next one, okay, so when you were about 3 years old, true or false, you were staying with your grandparents and you refused to get out of bed because the clothes that your grandmother had set out for you were not matching. And in your words, you were not going to let anyone see you dressed like that. Is that true or false?
Yeah, I think that's also true.
So I'm told it was having to do an orange, red, and blue combination.
It was the craziest combination of colors we've ever seen.
I think it's a very sensible decision. Very sensible. It just points that trajectory to where you ended up today. An icon of style. Okay, so I told everyone to follow Rosewood London. Definitely follow Michael as well. It's like a James Bond gallery. Very, very well played. Last true or false? Rosewood London is famous across London for its wonderful F&B scene, and our clients as well. Sometimes they don't even bother leaving to have the other great restaurants in London. Michael, got to do something about that. But true or false? The gin bar in the Holborn dining room has over 500 gins and 30 tonics available. Audience, is that true or false? 500 gins. Michael?
Oh, that's true. That is true.
How many of them have you consumed?
Oh, like 4.
But you do like Cotswolds gin. You guys definitely feature Cotswolds gin.
Yeah, I do.
What gin are you drinking right now?
I was looking for the bottle. Not that I'm drinking the bottle. Jensen's.
Oh, great!
South London, actually, from Bermondsey.
I've got my Cotswolds gin bottle up there in case they're watching. Hi, Cotswolds gin guys.
Cheers.
Jensen's is good. Cheers, man. Cheers to everybody out there. Thanks for joining us. So we're now going to play a game. We've never done this one before.
Okay.
And I'm going to need some help. Because there's going to be a timer involved. Okay. My 11-year-old son, David, who turns 12 on Thursday. David, come on in. I'm going to need your help. All right, David, sit up here. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to name a category, and you're going to see how many that you can name in 15 seconds of this category. How many examples, okay?
Okay.
Audience, you're going to participate as well. Because you are going to guess how many Michael gets right. So Okay, this is going to be a little bit challenging. We're going to start with gins.
Okay.
At the gin bar at Holborn Dining Room. So, David, you're going to keep count.
Okay.
Audience, you guess how many he's going to guess right. Okay. And Michael, on your mark, gins in the Holborn Dining Room. On your mark, get set, go.
Okay. Botanist, Jensen's, Bombay Sapphire, Hendrix, Monkey 47, Beefeater, Plymouth, Ford's, Sipsmith, Aviation.
All right, how many you get? We're going to count aviation because we're very generous here. How many?
10.
10.
Wow.
Okay. I bet you won the over on that.
Oh yeah.
Though Laura Epstein, I just see chimed in that she thought you were going to get 22 right.
Oh.
I don't know how you'd even speak that fast. But I gotta say, I'm blown away by 10. That was well done.
I thought that was pretty good going.
It was incredible. It was incredible. Okay. I don't know how fast people think we can talk.
I've only had 4 of them, by the way. Only 4.
All right. Okay. So we're going to go to the next category.
Okay.
So one of my favorite things about Rosewood, London, many of my favorite pubs are within an easy walk of the hotel.
Okay.
How many pubs can you name that are walkable from Rosewood, London? And audience, guess the over-under. He only has 15 seconds. And remember, a lot of these have long names with 3 or 4 words. Okay. So, Michael, on your mark, get set, go.
Okay, Scarce Bar, The Ship, Mr. Fogg's, Eve Bar, Ivy Club, Groucho Club, Nightjar in the City, American Bar, Linus.
Stop.
Okay.
Great.
Not bad.
Okay, so how many was it, David?
9.
9. Really good.
I'll take that.
Put mine favorite right nearby. You take a ride out of the courtyard and you kind of go into some of those great little quirky alleys. Ye Old Mitre.
Yeah.
And I'm forgetting really close. It's like the York one. There's like a York pub, like just to the right. I'm blanking.
To the left. It's like one of London's oldest bars.
Yeah. Audience will know. Someone in the audience knows, and they get a prize.
I saw Lee Scott on there. I think you know.
Someone will get it. All right, next category. This one should be easy for you.
Okay.
Like honestly, like you are one of the best dressed dudes I know. Okay, so I want you in 15 seconds to name places that you would recommend men go to shop, accessories, clothes, even, your concierge team's amazing. So we'll say places that they'd recommend for women as well. You can just go crazy. As many great shops as you can name in 15 seconds. Audience, how many is he going to be able to get? On your mark, get set, go.
Okay, Selfridges, Hackett, Cerruti, Gibbs and Hawkes, Burberry, Armani, Harrods, Gucci, Turnbull and Asser.
Okay. How about we get 8?
9.
9? 9?
I feel like
that was really good. I was going to say I wanted to open the door to women's because I know like Louise Kennedy is a personal friend, and we so support her flagship shop over in Dublin.
We love Louise, but
if she's watching,
I mean,
what's that?
I mean, she's the most phenomenal, for women's wear, but she just doesn't do men's wear yet. I keep telling her every time.
I know.
I
know. So we love their flagship store in Dublin, but of course, when people are in London, we send people there as well.
It's beautiful. On Merrion Square. Yeah. Gorgeous.
Okay. So really good. David, thanks for helping.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay. See you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Okay. So we've got an important announcement for next week's show. Next week, we're going to have a guest, of course, but it's also not going to be on Monday because it's a Memorial Day here. It's a bank holiday in parts of Europe, including the UK. It'll be at 2 p.m. on Tuesday. Here are some hints about next week's guest. Try to guess in comments if you think you can get it right. Number 1, her property is in Florence. 2, we consider it a secret weapon because it's not a big hotel with a huge hotel lobby. And number 3, her hotel's rooftop bar has brilliant views of the Duomo. Okay. So you have about a few minutes to guess, write it into the comments. And if you are watching, don't forget to ask questions. You've got Michael Bonsor here. Ask him anything. He is an open book. So go ahead and ask in comments. And we'll jump to this. Michael, I consistently hear from your team, and I've seen it. your drive, your attention to detail is really, really at the top 99th percentile of people I've ever seen. Where do you think it comes from? Where do you think you get it from?
I mean, it has to be my parents. My mother and father were that way. Both of them were working like incredibly long days. I think, the hotel work becomes life and life becomes work. Like it's all one thing to me. I have no sort of separation between sort of personal work. It's all just a lifestyle because, it just envelops everything you do. And, I just love what I do. So
you do, and it comes through. And I do love, like, you never stand still either. Like, you love the evolution of hotels. You love I think you'd be like me. Then nothing would give you more anxiety than walking into the hotel and it feeling the same as it did a year before.
Totally. No, absolutely. And I do it at home all the time. I think the house here in Wales has been rearranged like 9 times. And literally this morning I was getting screamed at because several things in the kitchen couldn't be found.
Your mom says you were doing that in high school at the hotel.
Yeah. I tend to sort of move a lot of furniture. I tend to check into hotels and literally move all the furniture around in the room. Before I sort of unpack.
Housekeeping loved you. Housekeeping just loved you. I mean, while there are many, this is the hardest question probably today. If you could only name 2 things that make Rosewood London extraordinary, and you've seen lots of hotels, you've worked at many, what are the 2 things that you're most proud of at Rosewood London?
I mean, it's going to sound really corny, but it has to be the team. It just has to be, because I think it's such a unique team where there is no sort of, there's no pretentiousness. It's really sort of easy going. It's like superb level of service, but you can really engage with the staff members. They've got a nice informality with them as well. And they're super well educated in what they do. And so you can get into a really interesting conversation with them, and they're just just really getting connected with the guests, which I love. I love to see that. And then I still think our design and architecture of that building is still so unique in the city. It just is such a special building, to
have a courtyard, to have an arrival experience in London before you even leave, like that is, I think that's really unique.
Yeah. So very special.
No, please go ahead.
No, it's just a very special setup. And I think, going into the world we sort of live in, sort of, coming up, I think that sort of wide open spaces, outdoor space, the Holborn dining room, Scarfs Bar, such large spaces as well. I think it's really, it's such a beautiful, beautiful building.
Laura and I loved our last visit, and we hung out at the chalet, which every winter in the courtyard, you come up with this incredible chalet experience, and there's always a different theme. Laura was gravely disappointed that within 24 hours after our departure, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge were there. And of course, she would have loved to have seen that. But no, she loves the chalet. And I think you always get that kind of traffic at your hotel anyway. Just hang out in the lobby, you're bound to see somebody. But I always try to convince Americans that November and December is such a magical, magical time to go to London. And I think what you do at the chalet is such an example of that. Bring that to life a little bit for people.
Yeah, I think the city, first of all, we're talking earlier about shopping. The most incredible shopping. And the city, London now, every year just outdoes itself with the Christmas decorations as well. It's so magical how this whole city is decorated. And then at the hotel, we've got that little pop-up in the courtyard, which is so beautiful, and that sort of 30-foot Christmas tree. And it really is a magical time of the year. And there's so much for you sort of to do in the city as well at that time. And it is so festive, and it's got such a great atmosphere. And I think after everything that's going on this year, don't we all need a bit of cheering up at the end of the year?
Oh my gosh.
Festive cheer.
I think London, I think your especially your suites, so much room, the ability to connect. What's the maximum number of rooms you can connect at once at the hotel? Because I know you've got amazing options for that.
Yeah, you can go up to 8 bedrooms.
8 bedrooms.
Over 6,000 square feet. Yeah.
And it's very clear that there's going to be a trend, and there is right now, towards a residential style of experience. And I think your hotel is so well suited for that.
Yeah, and 2 of our suites have full kitchens as well. And
Right.
yeah, I mean, there will be a change of what people want and how they want to be serviced in the suite. And, our butlers are going to have to offer a different level of service. Maybe it'll be a bit more hands-off in the suite, and a bit more hands-on out with the suite.
Right.
But yeah, let's see what world we're in by the end of the year.
Okay, so now we're going to have the audience really get to know you in terms of your opinions. I'm going to put you on the spot with some questions.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Was the best James Bond Sean Connery, Daniel Craig, or other?
Can I just say Sean Connery?
Yes, of course you can. That is the right answer. As much as I like Daniel
Sean
Craig.
Connery.
Yeah, and you're also Scottish. Like that would have been really bad. Like as much, but yeah. But okay, next one.
Question, I feel.
That's right. It was a little bit. It was an easy way to start. So your hotel surrounded by great theater, lots of easy nearby. Would it be a musical for you or a play if you had one night out?
A play, I think. Yeah, okay. Play.
All right, 80s Britpop. If you had to choose one of these, New Order or Duran Duran?
Oh, Duran Duran.
Okay. Window or aisle?
Window.
Okay. Classic Aston Martin or the most updated new Bentley?
I think it has to be a Bentley.
I thought you would be. Room with a view or room with a sensational bathroom?
Oh, it's got to be view, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Rugby or cricket?
Rugby.
Starter or dessert?
Starter.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
And how is Sasha?
She's limping on. She's 14 years old now. So what's that, 98? Yes. So, I mean, yeah, she's limping. She's limping along.
All right. So give Sasha a nice cuddle for me.
I will.
So we're going to bring Ty in now.
Okay.
So Ty's going to join us. We're going to see what the audience is saying and thinking. Hi, Ty. What's going on, man?
Hello, good afternoon, guys. Nice to see you, everyone. Good to see you, Michael. Thanks for joining us this week. We've got a great audience this week, you guys. I mean, like literally people from all over the world. And Scully says hi. Carol Halpin's online in New York today. Michael Holtz, Hazley Smith. I think we even had David Orsman out in Berkeley, California online this morning, early in California. And I got to say, we got a lot of questions come in from the audience. So I'm going to do my best to get to as many of them as I can, Michael. And the first question actually was from Anne. And she asked, why is it that Indian tonic tastes so much better than American versions of tonic?
The tonic water.
With your G&T.
What?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that secret ingredient is. Do we have something you don't?
Well, I think we're a lot of us are still using Schweppes. I think that could be part of the problem.
Yeah, we're using sort of London-based tonics, which might be maybe that is the secret. Yeah, maybe you have to put the Schweppes down.
Yeah. There's your answer, Anne. Another question for you. Katie wanted to know what the and that's actually an interesting question because I have no idea what this is. What are the names of the birds that are in the lobby of the hotel and the cages?
The birds.
Mm-hmm. Well, the news, Michael.
So we had birds in the lobby, real birds,
yeah.
And then we went up into the staircase, and then we've actually given them away now to a bird sanctuary.
Okay.
But there are other birds now in the lobby, which are made from there's an art piece. They're sculptures now. Yeah. But the real birds are in a nice little sanctuary.
Okay.
Tweeting in the sunlight.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So Hazley said, you've always been known as being very innovative, and I agree with that at Rosewood London. And we were wondering, what do you have planned that's going to be fun and interesting for a guest experience post COVID-19 when you are able to reopen? That you feel like you can share today.
Yeah, I mean, we actually have a great summer pop-up already scheduled, which will be stunning. I can't unveil who the partner is, but they are so eager for us to open and get started on this. So the courtyard will have a whole new installation in it for the summer, which will be great. And then there's a new Scarfs Bar menu coming out too.
Oh, wow.
we were just about to hit send on before we all kind of closed down. So that's just sitting ready to go. So I feel blessed because we already have some really good stories to come right out with. But the Scarfs Bar menu will be based on your personality. So you actually take a really quick personality test, and then you get the drink. You get a very good drink at the end of it. So, yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
You guys have done such a good job of making a stay being engaged and fun and even irreverent and not just a stop for food or a drink. And everything's fun. And you learn.
Well, it's got to appeal to the community, right? It's got to appeal to the Londoners. And like in all great cities, they've seen it all. And you've just always got to be thinking of nothing gimmicky, but just of what to keep everybody entertained a little bit as well. Travel should be fun. And for everyone working in the hotel, it should be fun too,
That's right.
That's great.
Any others, Ty?
I got one more question, very important, because there have been so many about this that have come through. And I'm a big fan of this as well. But one thing that's at Rosewood that I know I've never seen at another hotel in London is your pie room. The pie room is such a great concept. And people want to know, one, what your favorite pie is from the pie shop, but also how many a day are actually served out of there. Because I know you've had a very vibrant business there, especially with the takeaway side of it, for some time, bringing in locals into the hotel. So tell us a little bit more about the pie room and the concept there, and then your highlights of it, please.
Yeah. So this pie room is its own completely dedicated room. It's got a full glass wall onto the street with a little hatch where all the office workers in the area, the community, can come over and order from the hatch. So there's 6 different pies. My favorite for sure is chicken and tarragon with Durrell mushrooms. It's just amazing. So that's definitely, and then we probably sell, I would say, in the region of about 300 to 500 a day. Callum right now is cooking 1,500 a day. A week, 1,500 a week right now for the local butchers to raise money for the NHS. But on general service, 300-400 a day easily. Yeah.
Wow.
That's great.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It's great to see you. I've had the pleasure of sending a lot of clients your way, and we'll intend to carry on doing so just as soon as we can. So we'll hope to see you soon.
That's great.
Thank you, Ty.
Thank you. See you later.
All right. Okay. So, Michael, it's one of my favorite parts of the show where, it's celebrated. Such a core part of what we do is practicing gratitude. And even when times are super tough and super hard, we always find silver linings in so many ways. And I wonder if there is, here you are in Wales, what are you most thankful for right now in your life?
Well, I was just talking a bit back to what you said earlier about life is just 1,000 miles a minute. And actually, although it surprised me how busy the days are with a closed hotel and closed borders and no travel in any of our diaries right now, actually the days are still really busy. But what has been lovely, for us and for me is that I've actually spent some time at home, and like, especially this home in Wales, like I had never really spent much time here to enjoy it. It was always a quick, joint down from London and sort of back again. I think it's just spending time at home, with my husband, with the dog, with everything, that you actually sort of, you don't normally have enough time. You don't have enough personal time. So that quality time has been really great. And Wales is still in lockdown. So, we're still in the house pretty much, whereas England is sort of easing itself out now. But Scotland's in lockdown. So it's similar to, people in the States, but, different states having different laws. But yeah, it's just been nice, nice to sort of hang out at home more and not be running out to dinners and events and different things.
Well, thank you. And, each week I try to pick something different. And this week I was really feeling it. We had a staff meeting today with our team every Monday. And you get to work with them. You've met so many of them, but I just have the greatest, maybe we're tied. But just, it's such a special team. And to see how they've handled the crisis and to see how people step up in moments and say, you know what, I'm not as busy with this kind of work anymore.
Yeah.
But how can I pivot and change? And how can I help this person? And how can I learn new skills? How can I help build a company and build myself in such a way that when this is over, which it'll inevitably be, we're on a path to an even better version. And I think that our team is just, the loyalty they've shown has just been remarkable, and it's really inspired me. And so this week, I'm especially grateful for my team, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, really fun. And audience, for next week, please remember it'll be on Tuesday, and I'm not sure if anybody guessed it right, but it's going to be Maria Rita Bellini from Antica Posta, one of our great boutique.
Nice.
A little bit off the beaten path, but it is in the center of Florence, and we'll learn more about that and get to know Maria Rita. But Michael, man, you're great. I love catching up with you. Thank you for making time for us.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you soon. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.